Welcome. This is Brad Waller coming to you from my office instead of from the Chevelle. So this is a change of pace, a quiet video with no outside noise. Hopefully I can pay attention as opposed to when I'm in my car and I get distracted. But for lighting, there's a window right behind the camera there. And I'm at the ground floor, so every once in a while people do walk by. And so if you see my eyes wandering, it's because I think I see somebody I know walking by. I thought I would talk today about branding. And instead of talking about overall branding and your company's branding, it's more about personal branding. What is it that makes you, you? Why do people want to pay attention to you? Why is it that you do something that's interesting, important, whatever? And I'll get into sort of my personal brand. Now, if you can't guess, I try to make it obvious. Part of the personal branding is being memorable, because when you meet people, especially at large events, networking events where there's lots of people, then you've got the issue of how do you stand out? How do you make sure that people will remember you and your message and what it is that you are trying to get across? Could be sales, could be just, having them hire you. Don't know, could be anything. So being memorable helps. And so if you're just one of a whole bunch of people in a standard business networking thing, you're wearing a button-down shirt and that's it, there's nothing special. So that's where like a logo shirt, bright colors, a shaved head, print shirts, things like that stand out and people remember that. People know me for these shirts. And I didn't wear these shirts for the branding, for the personal branding. I actually came up with the shirt idea as corporate branding. Back in the late 90s, we had an advertising network. So it was a self-serve advertising network, just kind of a whole lot like the AdWords thing, where you could put ads on or put a block on your site and get paid for ads before Google had started doing it. And this service was called AdJungle. So Jungle, hey, I'll go to the trade show and I've got 2 or 3 print shirts and I will wear those print shirts and I'll talk about my AdJungle service and my business cards. That'd be cool if I can find a card while we're talking. I've got cards here, my AdJungle business cards. Still have some even though the service is defunct, pretty much. You can see my business card was very jungle-like. So I had AdJungle business cards with jungles, and I wanted to match the card. And that was sort of, people will remember, I'm talking about AdJungle. Oh yeah, he was wearing the print shirt, and he had the card with the jungle on it, things like that. And then what happened was, after a couple years, I kind of liked wearing those shirts to the trade shows. So I started buying more shirts. And at this point now, I've got to have 20 or 30, 20, 25 print shirts. I'd go to Costco and they would have some on sale. So I'd buy 3 or 4. And then another year later, they'd have some more on sale and I'd buy 3 or 4. And then people would know I was wearing this kind of shirt. And I started getting known for it and people would buy me shirts. And my personal brand now is these shirts. The shaved head wasn't branding as much, but it definitely gets you noticed. And when you're in business and you're trying to be remembered and have people know you and remember what you are talking about, being memorable helps. Having the shaved head, I stand out from the crowd. I don't mind standing out from the crowd. It's kind of weird. I am basically an introvert, but for certain things, I don't mind standing out. I don't mind in a social situation being noticeable. I'm not going to be walking up to everybody and saying, hey, how you doing? My name's Brad. I'm kind of be a little bit more quiet there. But you've seen my car, bright yellow 67 Chevelle, kind of loud, black convertible Corvette, very loud. So people know me, they know my cars. I've in fact met people who know my car And then they meet me years later, and it's like, oh, you're the guy with that car. So that's even part of my brand, is just doing something that's different and memorable. So if you're not doing anything like that, think about what you can do. You can always wear, I'm not going to say you should do this, but a cowboy hat. I can't remember her name, but there's a female, I think senator, but somewhere in the federal government. I think she's from Illinois. She wears these cowboy hats all the time. People remember those cowboy hats, and you know who it is. And if you were more into that kind of politics, you'd remember who it is. So think about that. Is there a shirt? Is it your hairstyle, hair color? You're always the person with the pink hair. I think that's perfectly fine, even in business situations, to have colored hair, or a stripe, or whatever it is that makes a difference, makes you noticeable, but you also like and mean something to you, and you can have a story behind it. Something like that. Come up with it. You can always be wearing a certain pin. Anything. Come up with some idea of what it is that can make you stand out from a crowd without being flamboyant, just, hey, here I am the whole time, and memorable. And that is how you work on your personal brand, and that builds your memorability in business and social situations, and that's always a benefit. Brad Waller, signing out.